Let's be real for a second. Have you ever mapped out a project, a trip, or even just a simple task, and you were absolutely convinced you knew exactly how long it would take, only to watch that deadline just completely blow by? Yeah, me too. If that sounds familiar, you're in the right place. Today we're diving into our universal and kind of weird blind spot for time.
I mean, it's that sinking feeling, right? Why do our best laid plans seem to just fall apart? You've asked yourself this probably while you're scrambling to finish something you were sure you'd have done ages ago. Is it just bad luck? Are we all just bad at managing our time? Or, as we're about to find out, is there something much deeper going on in how our brains are wired?
And here's the first big clue. This isn't some personal failing. It's not about you being lazy or disorganized. It's actually a universal human bias. Think of it like a little glitch in our operating system that affects pretty much everyone, from a student pulling an all-nighter to a giant corporation trying to launch a new product. So at its core, the problem is this. We're hardwired to look at the future with these, super optimistic goggles on. When we plan something, we consistently underestimate how much it's going to cost and all the things that could go wrong. And at the same time, we wildly overestimate how great the benefits will be. We see this perfect, smooth road to success, when the reality is almost always a winding, bumpy path. But here's the wild part. This isn't just random chaos messing up our schedules. It is a predictable pattern. It's an error in our thinking that is so consistent, so reliable, that scientists have studied it, they've analyzed it, and they've even given it a name. All right, so let's get into it. Let's put a formal name to this frustrating thing that happens to all of us. Because, once you can name a problem, you're already one step closer to understanding it. To do that, we have to go back to 1979. A really sharp cognitive scientist was observing this massive gap between what we plan and what actually happens. And he decided, you know what? This deserves its own law. Like right up there with the laws of physics. That thinker was a guy named Douglas Hofstadter. And in his incredible Pulitzer Prize-winning book, Gödel, Escher, Bach, he hid this little gem, a witty, almost funny observation that just perfectly sums up our total inability to estimate time. And here it is. Get ready for this. Hofstadter's law states, it always takes longer than you expect, even when you take into account Hofstadter's law. Did you catch that? It's a loop. It refers to itself. It basically means that even when you know that things tend to run late, and you cleverly add extra buffer time to your plan, it will still take longer than that. It's frustrating, it's funny, and it's a really profound insight. Okay, but that just leads to the real question, doesn't it? Why? If we know this is a thing, if we know about this bias, why can't we just, fix it? Why does Hofstadter's law seem to be so stubbornly, annoyingly true time and time again? Well, the answer might not be what you think. And this is the real heart of our explainer today. It's something we can call the complexity engine, because the real reason for all our delays might have less to do with our psychology and a whole lot more to do with the actual work we're trying to do. So what if we've been looking at this all wrong? Maybe the problem isn't that we're just bad planners. Maybe, just maybe, we're trying to do something that is fundamentally impossible. Predict the future of tasks that are, by their very nature, completely unpredictable. The key idea here, the magic word, is complex system. And trust me, almost any task that's actually worth doing, writing a book, building an app, designing a house, even just planning a big party, is a complex system. It's not a simple machine where A plus B equals C. It's more like a living, dynamic network of pieces that all interact with each other. Let's forget the jargon for a second. Think about planning a wedding. You hire a caterer. You hire a band. Those seem like two separate, simple tasks, right? But then, the band's giant speakers overload the venue's old wiring, which trips a circuit breaker, which shuts down the warming ovens for the caterer. That right there, that is an emergent problem. It's a brand new problem that you could have never predicted because it wasn't caused by one thing. It was created by the interaction between two different parts of your plan. So here's a good way to think about it. Our plan? It's like a perfectly straight line we draw on a map from point A to point B. But the actual journey isn't on a road. It's through a dense, unexplored forest. Our neat little map doesn't show us the fallen trees we have to climb over, the sudden rivers we have to cross, or the winding paths we're forced to take. So, where does all this leave us? If planning is so flawed, what's the point? Well, let's pull all these ideas together and see if we can find a totally new way to think about making plans. You know this cycle. We all live it. Step 1. We start out by assuming this simple, straight-line path to our goal. Step 2. Reality hits. The complex nature of the task rears its head. Components start interacting in ways we never imagined. Step 3. Brand new, emergent problems pop up out of nowhere. And Step 4. Yep, Hofstadter's law wins again, and the whole thing takes way longer than we thought.
So if you remember one thing from all of this, let it be this. It all boils down to a fundamental mismatch. Our brains are basically linear tools. We love simple cause and effect, but the world we live and work in is made up of complex, messy, non-linear systems. And that gap between our linear minds and the non-linear world is the real reason we're always running late.
And that leaves us with one final, kind of big thought. If we just accept that predicting the future of any complex project is basically impossible, if we accept that our plans are always going to be wrong, then why do we even bother making a plan at all? Well, maybe the point of a plan isn't to get the future right. Maybe the true purpose of a plan is just to prepare us to be surprised. Something to think about. Thanks for joining me.